Hi dancers, my name's Greer. I'm the Pointe shoe specialist here at Discount Dance Supply. And today I'm going to be going through the anatomy of a pointe shoe with you, what the different parts of the shoe are called, because it's different from regular shoes, sneakers, or just ballet flats. And the purpose of this is just so you know what the parts of your shoe are called, and also so you can articulate with your fitter, maybe what you're looking for in a shoe, what you like, what you don't like in certain shoes. So let's get started. I'm going to start from one end of the shoe and work my way back. So the part you balance on is called the platform. Some have a very broad platform, those are easier to balance on. Some have a very small, narrow platform, those are more difficult to balance on, and that just takes a little more getting used to. This whole part of the shoe right here is called the box. Some boxes are very square and wide, some are more tapered, some are in between. The kind of box that you're looking for really depends on your foot shape. So go watch one of my first videos about certain shoes for certain types of feet where I kind of talk about that. If you have kind of more tapered toes, you want a more tapered box. Very square kind of foot, you want a more square box, just kind of in general. There's exceptions to that, always try them on of course, but that's the general reason that there's different shapes of boxes, because that provides really your support for your toes, so everything isn't going onto one toe when you're on releve. The part from the platform to the opening of the shoe is called the vamp. Some vamps are long, some are short, some are moderate. The longer the vamp is, the more difficult it is to get over on a shoe. So the reason you would want a long vamp is if you have extremely high flexible arches and maybe you're popping over a shoe, a longer vamp will hold you in and keep you in the shoe. Or also if you have really long feet and long toes, you might want a longer vamp because then you're more likely to not roll over the top of the shoe. A short vamp helps you get over on the shoe more easily. The opening part of the shoe is called the throat. Some have a U-shaped throat like this one. Some have a V-shaped throat. Typically the throat is where the drawstrings meet, except on Gainer Minden's, those drawstrings are on the side of the shoe. But on most shoes, the drawstrings are on the top here where the throat is. A lot of V-shaped throat shoes don't have a drawstring. Some do, but a lot don't, and that's just kind of a more sleek look on the shoe. And then the drawstring itself, some are elastic, like this one is, some are cotton. I feel like most shoes now are kind of trending towards elastic drawstrings. That goes for ballet shoes as well. I like those because you can really get a nice fit and have the shoe hug the sides. Like I've said before, the drawstring should not make the shoe fit. It should just be kind of aesthetic and make the side of the shoe really hug the arch of the foot. Moving along this way, if you look at the shoe here from this side, this is called the crown of the shoe. So some have really high crowns, some have very flattened crowns, some have moderate crowns. So the reason you would want a really tall, high crown is if you kind of have a very full foot. So if you have a full foot, you want a lot of space right here to accommodate the foot so you're not bulging out of the top of the shoe. If you have a kind of more shallow foot, you want a more flat crown. Now crowns do flatten as you're dancing, so if you've got a little bit of, tiny bit of space in the top, don't worry about that, it'll flatten when you're dancing. If you've got like a gaping, if you can put your finger in there when the shoe is on, then the crown is probably too tall for you and you want something with a little bit flatter crown. If you're looking at the shoe this way, this part is called the profile. So some have a high profile, some have a low profile. This shoe here is actually a relatively low profile. It scoops up to the heel. But so a lower profile just looks sleeker on the foot. A higher profile helps you feel a bit more held into the shoe. These here are called the side seams or the waist seams. And then moving along to the back, you have the heel of the shoe and you have the back heel seam. The bottom of the shoe, this is called the outer sole. Most outer soles look like this. Some are a split outer sole. A lot of the block pointe shoes now with stretch satin are made of a split outer sole. And then of course we have the shank of the shoe. The shank is really what gives you all of your support, what makes the shoe hard on the sole here. Traditional shanks are made of layered paper and paste material, as is the box of the shoe. And shanks come in various strengths, soft, medium, hard usually. The softer the shank is, the easier it is to manipulate and roll through and get over. The harder the shank is, the more you have to work in the shoe. You might want to go for a hard shank if you have extremely strong feet, you're breaking things in really quickly, you have really super duper high arches, then you might want to tend toward a harder shank to really give you that support that you need. If you want something that's very easily manipulated and more malleable, then go for a softer shank. So I hope this has been helpful, and thanks for watching.